I'm Jeff Yanagi, the creator of Project OneStone, which is a passion project to help IT professionals realize the value that information technologies brings to their mission or business. In this micro-nugget, I'll demonstrate how you can leverage tools such as Git and Terraform to automate and deliver infrastructure as code through NSX-T data center. Using my public Git repository and Terraform, I'll deploy Tier 0 and Tier 1 gateways within NSX and attach 3 overlay segments to support our Horizon VDI deployment. Let's go through this diagram. After all is said and done, NSX will have 2 Tier 0 routers deployed in an active state, which provides equal cost multi-path connectivity to the top of rack switches. A Tier 1 gateway will also be deployed in an active standby state and have 3 overlay segments to support our enterprise services, unified access gateways, and Horizon connection servers. Each of these segments will also be configured with tags so that we can apply security policies against this tag criteria, which allows us to implement granular micro-segmentation policies based on dynamic context rather than static IP sets. There are some assumptions that we're making here. The first is that there's already components of the VMware software-defined data center installed, such as vSphere 7 and NSX-T version 3. It's also assumed that the physical underlay supports BGP and that you already have an NSX-T environment deployed with 2 available edge nodes attached to an unused edge cluster. I've listed out instructions on how to install and deploy the code with Terraform. If you've never used Terraform before, it's a very straightforward and user-friendly platform with publicly available documentation and examples on how to use the NSX Terraform provider. These links will also be available in the description below. Once the code is executed, Terraform will deploy 64 resources to include VLAN-backed segments, a Tier 0 gateway with BGP and redistribution policies, a Tier 1 gateway, the 3 overlay segments discussed earlier, and inventory objects and distributed firewall security policies. I have a freshly installed NSX environment where no networking services have been configured. As we move into the Networking tab to view the network topology, you can see that there are no entities or objects to display because they don't exist yet. Let's now take a look at our distributed firewall rules within the Security tab to demonstrate that there are no security policies configured outside of the default Layer 3 rules that are pre-configured, which allows IPv6 neighbor discovery, DHCP, and all other traffic types. To kick this off, I'm opening a Git shell and cloning my public repository. Just know that this isn't required and you can download and extract the Terraform scripts manually. Once cloned, I need the repo directory to be my working directory. The first step is to initialize the directory using the terraform init command. During this step, Terraform downloads the latest NSX provider if required and generates a log file to track the provider's dependencies. The next command is Terraform Plan, which allows us to preview the changes that Terraform plans to make to your infrastructure. It's not necessary, but always recommended, especially in identifying any errors that may result from your code smithing. Finally, let's deploy our code by issuing the command Terraform Apply and watch the magic happen. In 12 seconds, we just deployed 64 resources to include both networking and security services to support a Horizon deployment. From the NSX dashboard, we can see 1 Tier 0 gateway, 1 Tier 1 gateway, 5 segments, and inventory objects that have been created through Terraform. Let's take a look at our network topology. The NSX topology reflects all network objects and services that are configured, and we can see all segments and uplinks that are attached to these resources. We also have immediate reachability to these networked resources as demonstrated by the following ping tests. Now that we've verified that we have network reachability, what about our security policies? Let's go ahead and take a look at our DFW rules. Again, not to sound like I'm bragging here, but in 12 seconds, we've configured security policies to support our Horizon application. Do you remember those tags that we mentioned before? Well, we use those as the membership criteria to NSX security groups for our UHEs, connection servers, load balancers, and other Horizon components. Another great aspect of using Terraform is that it's a valuable tool for any change management process. For example, what if we had an administrator make a change that exposed our systems or compromised the security of a system? In this case, maybe a firewall rule that allowed everything. Well, because Terraform tracks all objects that it's deployed, an administrator can reapply the Terraform plan, and it's as if the change never happened. And we can return our configurations once again back to a known good state. Now, what happens when we retire applications or decom services? What happens with those security policies? Unfortunately, too often they become erroneous lines in an access list or firewall policy, and no one may know what those rules are for, so they don't do anything with them out of fear of disrupting some critical service. And these issues can lead to configuration sprawl, and can even complicate our configurations and troubleshooting procedures. But because we're using automation with software-defined networking and security, when we retire resources, we can also remove the policies that went with them. For example, in Terraform, we can issue the Terraform destroy command, and it will remove all objects that are deployed from its original plan. You see, it's as if it never happened. Once the application retires, so do its policies. Thanks for joining me in this session. I hope this was helpful in demonstrating the power of NSX with Terraform to reduce the time to deliver services for your customers while maintaining consistent infrastructure with built-in security. As always, if you have any feedback or questions, please leave them in the comments and I'll be sure to get back to you. Thank you.